We've all been there. Spent hours on the proposal, you've had the discovery call, you're excited about this project, and then the 3 words that feels like a personal attack lands in your inbox. You are too expensive. If you're a content creator, a freelancer, or you're running a small remote agency, this moment usually triggers one of 2 reactions: the panic discount, wait, I can do it for 20% less, or the ghosting. You get frustrated, you feel undervalued, and you never reply. But here's the truth: when a client says you are too expensive, they're really talking about money alone. They're talking about risk, clarity, confidence, and value. They just don't have the language for it yet. Let me show you how I handle this objection and why it works without begging, discounting, or sounding defensive. And this method protects my rate and lands me the clients anyway. First, we need to stop seeing the word expensive as a barrier and start seeing it as a request for information. Most people lose the deal right here. The moment they hear too expensive, they panic and rush to justify themselves. They start listing their skills, some overshare credentials, or worse, they slash their prices. But this is not how it works. That's a great mistake. Think about it. As a creator or remote worker, you aren't selling hours, you're selling an outcome. If a client says the price is too high, it usually means one of 3 things. They don't see the bridge between your price and their return on investment. They are comparing your premium strategy to a gig economy template, or they literally don't have the cash, which we will handle in a minute. The biggest mistake is apologizing for your price. The moment you apologize, you validate their belief that you aren't worth the price. So here are the 3 techniques you can copy going forward. The first one is ear opens, guard down technique. When the objection hits, your first job isn't to defend, it is to investigate. You need to use empathy to uncover the real why. You can say something like, I completely hear you. Budget is a huge factor in every project. Just so I can understand you better, is it that the total investment is more than you've allocated for it? Or are you comparing this to a different type of solution? Or you can also say, I understand you perfectly. When you say it feels expensive, is it because it is outside the budget you had in mind, or are you comparing it to another option? Notice what this does. It removes tension, it shows confidence, it puts the client in a position to explain themselves. Now, you are no longer negotiating blindly, you are having a real conversation. Why does this work? 1, it is not defensive. It forces them to tell you why it is a cash flow problem or a value perception problem. If it is value, then we move to the next step, which is reframing the cost as insurance. This is where most freelancers fail. They go on to talk about their process. Clients don't care about your process. They care about their peace of mind, the outcome. And here is the hard truth. If clients are only comparing prices, it is usually because you've allowed yourself to be positioned as a commodity. Creators, freelancers, and small business owners do this all the time. For example, if you're a video editor, don't talk about color grading. Talk about viewers, retention. If you're a social media manager, don't talk about posts. Talk about brand authority. A client doesn't hire you for Instagram posts, YouTube editing, copywriting, all of those things, web design, virtual assistants. They hire you for outcomes such as audience growth, conversion, retention, consistency, brand authority, time save, peace of mind, all of that. So when a client says you are expensive, this is where you calmly reframe the conversation, not with hype, but with clarity. This is how to reply them. I understand the investment feels high. Pricing in the creative space varies widely, usually because of the level of unseen work. My rate includes things like market research, strategy, corporate reputation, which ensures that we don't just launch a project, but we launch something that actually converts. My goal isn't to be the cheapest. It is to be the one you have to hire once and they get it right. You are shifting the narrative from what I am losing to what I am actually gaining. Another way to answer such clients is to say something like, that's fair. What my pricing reflects isn't just the deliverables, it is the outcome. I don't just create content. I help brands show up consistently, they attract the right audience and convert attention into results. Another one you can use is pricing varies a lot in this industry because experience varies. What I offer is consistency, quality, and accountability. That's what clients usually come to me for. For freelancers and remote workers, this is critical. You are not charging for hours, you are charging for the years of learning, for mistakes you've already made, for the experience you've gained over the years, the systems that you've refined, problems you already know how to avoid, and the results you will get for them. When you communicate that clearly, price stops being the main conversation and value becomes the center of the conversation. Moving on to the third technique, the scope pivot. Here you don't discount, you descope. If a client truly doesn't have the budget, never, and I mean never ever give a discount for the same amount of work. It tells the client you were overcharging them to begin with. Instead, you pivot the scope. Discounting teaches clients that your price isn't real, that pressure works, and that the value is flexible. So this is what to say instead. I understand this may be above your budget. If you are open to it, we can explore a smaller scope that fits better. What budget range were you aiming for? Or you can also say, I would love to find a way to work within your budget. Since we can't move on with this rate for the full package, what if we adjusted the scope? We could focus on core deliverable A now to get you the result you need, and we can look at deliverable B down the road. Does that help you stay closer to your target? This maintains your value while respecting their wallet and keeps the door open. Also, it presents you as a professional and not just a bargain bin. Next is the power of the exit. Here is the hardest part of the story. Sometimes you have to walk away. In my experience, the clients who argued the hardest over the last $100 are the one who will ask for 50 rounds of revision and call you at awkward moments. The clients who fight hardest on prices usually cost the most emotionally. Walking away is not failure, it is alignment. You aren't a service provider waiting for a handout. You are a partner with limited bandwidth. If a client doesn't value your expertise now, they won't value it during the project. When negotiation gets to this point, you can say, I understand we may not be the right fit right now, and that's okay. I'd rather be honest than overpromise. That confidence alone will earn you more respect than any discount ever could. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this: people don't reject prices, they reject unclear value or solution. So your job is not to be the cheapest, your job is to be clear, confident, and intentional. The moment you stop negotiating from fear and start communicating from value, the quality of a client changes, and so does your income. So next time you get that too expensive email, don't panic, breathe. Use the script I have handed you in this video and see what it brings you. Remember, you aren't just selling a deliverable, you are selling your years of mistakes, your specialized skills, and the time you are saving them. If they can't see that, they aren't your clients, and that's okay. There's a better one waiting for you somewhere with exact price tag or more. If you've had any of these clients, drop a comment below with the most creative excuse the client has given you for not paying your rate, and I'll reply to a few and tell you exactly how I will undo them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on killing your business. Till next time, keep thriving.